Okay. Take that banner off. Says we are live. Hopefully that is true. Hopefully everything is set up correctly. I did pin the first video of the AuthorTube and BookTube under 1K subs marathon video. For whatever reason, the link for the playlist itself was weirdly long today. Because it was like a redirect or something. I don't know. Anyway, so I posted the first video of it, and hopefully it'll work out all right. But anyway, here we are. Happy Wednesday. It feels like this week has already been a lot. I had my doctor's appointment yesterday. And so I have 2 more tomorrow, and then I still have to schedule another one. So yeah, there were some things that I had been worried about, and the doctor also is worried about. So we're getting things checked out. So yay, yay, but also scary. So so that is in the works. I do have my phone like volume on, which I normally don't. So because I'm still waiting on the other doctor's office to call me back. Just so if I have to like mute and take a phone call, I will. But you know, that's that. Everything is okay. It's just sort of like I'm 38, almost 39. I've been ignoring health issues, and so like I'm at the point where I'm like, okay, I accept that I need help. So we have gotten the ball rolling in several courts. So one of the questions I was worried about has already come back like negative, so I don't have to worry about that. Yay. So yeah, good things are happening. It's just like, going to the doctor because you realize you need assistance in having a full life for the rest of your life type of thing. So I'm checking on things, getting some help with some pain problem, like my back problems that I've been having. Like I'm, at the point where I'm like, okay, like the things need to be checked out. So went to the doctor, explained several problems, one of which was my back problems. So she agreed that it needed to be addressed. So I am tentatively scheduled, insurance willing, for 2 MRIs, one with contrast, one without. I don't know why they're whatever. Anyway, MRIs on the later this month. She had some other concerns about me. She's like, has anybody ever told you have the XYZ? And I'm like, no, because I haven't been to the doctor in forever. And so she's like, okay, we need to like just check this so that we can rule it out, or it will determine like how I want you to go about something else. I'm like, okay, that's fine, whatever. I told her about my concerns with my feet because I have had some feet issues the last couple of years. So she's like, okay, I will get you a referral to a podiatrist. I said, okay. She also gave me some printouts of specific exercises to do for plantar fasciitis, which I apparently have. I knew it was one of the options. But some of the stretches I can't really fully do until my back issues are addressed. Like, so, things like that. Standard, like checking for diabetes or pre-diabetic type of thing. Because diabetes does run on my mom's side of the family. My glucose levels were fine. So as far as I know, that's good. I mean, doctor still has to come back and like verify, but she's probably going to put me on anti-anxiety medicines. based on my answers to her survey, my heart rate and the carbon dioxide levels in my blood when they came back. Or I should say lack of carbon dioxide. So yeah, so things are happening. I will probably be having some more doctor's appointments in the near future. I'm trying to schedule them all for Tuesday, Thursdays so that we can still do our regular schedule so that like I at least have that to kind of anchor me. That kind of thing. So yeah, all of the adulting is in progress as much as I would like to keep avoiding it. So Stace says, good afternoon. Good afternoon. Hello. Welcome. Welcome. Diane is here. There she is. Yes, here I am. I am here. Monique says, hey, everyone. Hello. Welcome. Welcome, welcome. I saw your junk journal on Instagram. I like it. It's cute. It is very cute. And I have gunk in the corner of my eye. Monique says, today I'm working on world building for the vampires in your urban fantasy series. Fun. Yeah, everything will be fine. It's all just like part of getting checked out. And you know, she obviously I'm not at a super healthy weight. We're gonna address that with treating the back and feet first so that I can do some preferred cardio, which is walking and hiking and walking around, going to the botanical gardens, that kind of stuff. And then, you know, cholesterol, things like that. You know, some life changes have to be made in terms of eating habits and stuff. Okay, I got another test result I can check out. Monique says, as much as I hate George R. Martin's quote about Aragorn's tax policy, I kind of get what he's saying because now I'm literally creating a tax policy that my vampires are using. There you go. Yeah. Yeah. Good job for adulting. Thank you. When do they start memos? Probably a while ago. I probably should have had one at this point. So, but I haven't. I still like have to address that part, but I'm gonna address the other things first. So yeah. Good for you for taking care of yourself. Thanks. I appreciate it. You had good news today. Yay! First Social Security check hit the bank account. Excellent. 62. Nice. Excellent. Yay. You have family history of, so you do more than the standard protocol. Gotcha. Yeah. We don't. We have endometrial and skin cancer and lung cancer typically in our families. So yay. That's one of the, I do have an appointment with a dermatologist. So that's one of my 2 appointments tomorrow, which the doctor did not seem concerned really, but was like, yeah, we'll send you a dermatologist referral. That's fine. I'm like, okay, all right. So yeah. And I think it's just to like have it looked at. I don't think it's like, I think if the dermatologist determines that it has to be like scraped or whatever, that would be a different appointment, I think. Pretty sure. But not 100% sure. So you're officially old because you're but you're happy to accept the old and the Social Security payment. Yes, exactly. Elizabeth is here and says hello. Hello. Welcome. I still need to change my calendar back there. Sorry. More like a base to compare things to. Yeah. Yeah. That was basically, it was essentially a combination visit, like doing the wellness check and a problem check, like problem visit in the same time frame as setting me up with as a new patient for primary care. So Monique says to Diane, I recently had to apply for disability and went over the paperwork for that. You felt like you were reading over Warlock Country. Yeah. Medical paperwork is just like freaking bonanza bonkers crazy. And disability paperwork, from what I understand, is extremely hard, and can be unfortunately screwed up in a way that means that they deny you. So I hope that everything is good with your paperwork and you can get that disability, because I know that it's a struggle for a lot of people. So, alrighty. Makes us thanks. You're welcome. You're welcome. Diane says, yep, I could have applied for disability, but you were so close to retirement, you decided to wait. Fortunately, you could. Applying can be a nightmare. Yeah. 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 I don't know. It's a very unfortunate thing that the people who need it can't get it, and have to wait so long to either be denied or approved. And I'm not real sure, is there a waiting time between, if you get denied, is there a wait period before you can reapply? I don't know if that's a thing or not. Hopefully you won't get denied, Monique, and everything will be all good. Okay, let's turn that upside down since it's not balancing. So Tuesday's Kitty says, to brighten your day, I made you a mosaic. I think it was supposed to be mosaic, but it's a little music because mosaic. You can focus? We can focus? No? All right, let's get the white background to see if that helps. Yes, it helps. There we go. Such a cute kitty. You just want to scratch its head. And then we have for today, remember to take the time to stop and boop the flowers. Here we go. Take time to stop and boop the flowers. It's also a very cute kitty. So cute. And look at the murder mitten paws. Oh, very cute. So cute. Okay. Those are the kitties. The kitties. You decided it wasn't worth the stress and the time. That is a thing, because you do kind of have to weigh your own energy levels and how much stress and anxiety it's going to cause you. Yeah, for sure. Okay, we're pulling the koi fish, number 36. There is always enough is the main message for number 36. Your sister's on disability and she was accepted right away. Excellent, but hers was really obvious. Okay, gotcha. Squishy. So cute. Yes. Yes. Okay, I'm curious. This is a side thought. I have been seeing more on social media about doing audio narration for books and ACX, and just getting more narrators on my feed. And I'm curious if it's because I'm clicking on them, or if it's because is ACX and Audible pushing them somehow with the algorithm? Have they paid for these spots, and they're undisclosed ads? Or so are y'all seeing more audiobook narrator ACX/Audible content on your For You page and your social media? I guess that's the question. Because I've been seeing way more than I used to, which is good because the narrators are getting exposure and everything, but I'm also kind of wondering if it's a silent ad campaign. I don't know. Okay, so koi fish. There is always enough. Here's our lovely koi fish. The koi fish who grows big within a small pond reminds us that within each of us is the potential for prosperity. The law of abundance ensures that prosperity is our natural state. So, regardless of temporary outer conditions, you can call in prosperity and magnetically attract the opportunities and the abundance that you need. The message of the koi fish spirit is to begin to generate wealth within with deliberate intention, no matter how small your pond may seem, and appreciate abundance wherever you see it. Outer conditions will come to reflect your inner prosperity, so begin to become the self who is comfortable with wealth in all forms. Even if, at the moment, it feels as if riches are not yours, they soon will be. Start to envision the plenty that the Spirit wants you to experience, knowing that the moment you begin to commit to conscious and deliberate co-creation, the Spirit will joyfully start bringing you what you need. You have so much to offer and so much of value to express to the world. In your little pond, there is much that you can create and much you can attract. Do not underestimate what you have and who you are. The koi fish wants you to know that you are exquisite, loved, and deeply cherished. Trust that outer conditions are changing to reflect that. So there you go. I like the koi fish. The koi fish is a very good message. There is always enough and you are always enough. Love today's message. Yes, me too. Me too indeed. Okay, let's pretty much get started. I'm going to go ahead and pull up the document that I'm going to be working on. Oops, need to switch that over. Okay, there's that. We need to pull up a video for the timer. Let's see. It is starting to warm up, so I'm beginning to feel like our winter timers aren't quite as appropriate anymore, so I may have to make some springtime timers. You pulled the Queen of Pentacles. Ooh, nice. I like it. Okay, let's do this. So one, if you haven't pulled up your document, go ahead and do that. Otherwise, if you have already been working, go ahead and save it. 2 is make sure you have something to hydrate with. Take a sip. Cheers. 3, straighten your spine or roll your shoulders back for that posture check. Make sure you're not slouching too much. 4 is make sure that if you need a break, take a break. Here we go. 30 minutes in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, go. Okay, we are back. I got 270 words. Checked in with mom because she got back from the grocery store, and also was texting Bestie. So her birthday is tomorrow, but also we've been texting about my health and my test results and stuff. So, yay! I did get the ding that I got during our chat before was the A1C numbers, which are normal. So, yay. So, according to what I have interpreted, which again, grain of salt, not a medical person, just reading the glucose levels and the A1C levels, I am not pre-diabetic, which is great because that was one of the things that I was worried about. So, again, still sort of like up to professional interpretation, but that is something that's really good. And then Bestie, her mom and her dad were both medical professionals. They were both doctors. And so she knows a lot more about the medical terminology and things because she's just absorbed it and grown up with it and stuff. So we were chatting about cholesterol levels and all of that kind of stuff. So she's able to sort of like give me the like layman's terms for a lot of things and like be like, oh, this is what that means. So yeah. I mean, I can also Google things myself, but when I tell her like, oh hey, like the chart says I have not great cholesterol. Runs in the family. She's like, oh, I wonder if it was, better or worse than mine because she's had health issues, and because of that, she's put on a specific diet that increases your cholesterol, and so that's one of the things they're having to watch for her. And so we were comparing numbers and things, but yeah, so that is a relief for me in that my the glucose level and the A1C level are both in the normal range. So, yay. Again, that's my interpretation of what, because they have in my chart, they have the low end in yellow, the normal in green, and then the high end also in yellow. And so it's like the sort of slider thing of like where your number lands on. So in the normal range for everything, all good in terms of that. Not all good in terms of everything, but so. But basically, from what I am understanding, most of my issues are due to weight. Yay. Weight and diet, and anxiety. So like those are my two like biggies. So we're gonna work on that this year. But again, the professional will have to tell me the official like me stuff. Anyway, sorry to keep telling y'all about all my business, but it's on my brain. It's part of like what keeps me necessarily from being fully in my writing, because I'm thinking about it and I've got appointments tomorrow and my brain is like still spinning okay, my appointment is at this time. I have to be there at this time, which means it takes this many minutes to get there. I probably should add like 10 minutes for parking because it's a large complex that it's going to be a parking deck, which means I got to leave the house at this time, which means I got to wake up at this time. My brain is doing that calculation constantly. And then add to the fact that I have 2 appointments. So I have one in the morning and then I have one at noon. So I'm like, okay, I got to do all that. And then I have to hope that there's enough time in between, however long my first appointment takes. And to like calm down after the fact, maybe get some lunch, because I'm supposed to fast for the first appointment and then get over to the location of the second appointment. So yeah. And so basically I've been texting Bestie, and essentially she's asked me about a couple of things because of the first appointment tomorrow. And she's like, oh, well, those numbers are normal. So I think your appointment's probably unnecessary. But like the doctor's already, told me I should get it, referred me. I'm now in the 24-hour period. So I'm going to go. I'm going to try. So as Stacy's saying, I'm going to try and treat it as research for an appointment, because I've never had this kind of appointment before. So I'm gonna try. Maybe that will help with the anxiety. Probably not, but I'm gonna try. So Monique pulled the Six of Wands inverted. Ooh. Okay. Definitely fits the vibe of the Vampire Council, because they are literally stuck in the past. Coffee Crate Connect. Hello, welcome. How's it going? It's going good. I'm in medical brain while I'm trying. Like, I'm trying not to be in medical brain and anxiety mode, but it's happening. So you ended up hiring a Bay Area on Fiverr, and you just got her delivery. So you're very excited. You're going to make some fresh coffee and get the table set up with some candles and get ready to read the notes. I was kind of confused about this because I don't know what a Bay Area is. Is this a user's name? Was this an autocorrect typo? Is this from the beta reader? This might be beta reader. You hired a beta reader on Fiverr, just got delivery. You're ready to read the notes from it. That makes sense to me. You'll have to let me know if this is a correct guess now that I have maybe piecemealed that together in my brain. Monique says 431 words in my notes so far. Nice. Excellent. You need to come up with a name for the Vampire Courts version of Western Union / UPS. I feel like, okay, this is just like oddball, but I feel like trans something ought to be on there, like TransUnion, because Transylvania and vampire lore. Maybe something like that. Again, not entirely sure. Diane wound up getting the mail. Excellent. 12-inch composite wood samples and a new faucet for the sink. Ooh, nice. I like that. Do you like the new faucet? Is it just what you imagined it to be? Is it a really high arch for filling pots? Because that's one of our requirements in our house, is like, does it have a high arch so that you can fit a pot under it to fill it? Stacy's eyes are hurting. Oh no, so you didn't get any work done. You did order new glasses this morning. Cross your fingers that they come in quickly. Right now they're at 7 to 10 days, and there's probably business days. So yeah, like a 2-week window. Okay. You had to check out both just in case. Okay, the composite samples and the yeah. Stacy says to Monique, I know that you cannot use it since it was in Mr. Roger's neighborhood, but the first thing that came to mind is speedy delivery. Is that copyrighted because of Mr. Rogers' show? I don't know if it is or not. What do you think about Royal Crescent shipping and financial services? Royal sort of doesn't always mean British, but it does sort of have the British connotation a lot of times, at least here in the US. Like, that it's an imported business for sure. Not catchy, but is official sounding. True. But I feel like they would have probably split off the shipping and the financial services, that they would be different different businesses. So like you would have the Royal Crescent Shipping and then you would have Royal Crescent Financial Services, not like rolled into one. Diane says, welcome to the club. You're officially one of us. You're, yeah. One of everybody who's like worrying over it. And yeah. I mean, as writers, we do tend to like be relatively tied to however we write. And I think with the walking pads that people put under standy desks, that has resolved somewhat, or like the desks for the exercise bikes. That's helping. It doesn't necessarily get us out in the sunshine, but it does help. Yeah. This is what I'm hoping, that maybe this will all, like I can, one, sort of process it, and two, help it inform stories. You like that outlook? Yeah. I'm hoping. Your other idea for the name of the Vampire Council's bank/shipping company is Highgate Transit and Financial. Okay. I kind of like that too. Maybe the Slippery Express, Red Velvet Express. Play on the Pony Express, yeah. Highgate is the name of a cemetery in London. I do kind of like Highgate better than I like Royal. Yeah. You feel like you're creating your own version of Wells Fargo. I mean, yeah, kind of. But that's not necessarily a bad thing, so. All right, let's do the second sprint. Faucet should work for Diane. It is to replace an original to the house, but the old one leaks and you can't seem to fix it. Okay, so yeah, in which case you kind of have to have a new one. That is true. Okay, let's do... No, I don't really want that one either. Let's do this one. And I'm sorry, Stacy, it's going to have water sounds. So, because I know that's one thing you have mentioned. It does mean that you may take bio breaks, but that's not necessarily a bad thing. So it's our reminder to hydrate, to hydrate and take bio breaks. That's what it's going to be. You're trying to figure out why the big monitor is not working. Is it plugged in to both the wall and your computer? And is it turned on? Those are the two main questions. Three, technically, I guess. All right, let's do this. 1, save your document. 2, take a sip. Cheers. 3, straighten your spine, roll your shoulders back for that posture check. Make sure you're not slouching too much. And 4 is make sure if you need a break, take a break. Here we go. 30 minutes in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, go. Okay. I am now at 712 words. I had 200 and some before, but I don't remember. Was 270, 240, something like that? I don't know. Anyway, so I got somewhere in the 400 range of words that time, which was better. It was better. Also continued texting with Bestie, but that's that. Realized I should probably write down the addresses of the 2 locations that I'm supposed to go to and have that in my folder. Have at least the second one for sure in my folder. That way I know what address to type into GPS. Anyway, side thought, sidebar. Monique and I were chatting about how to introduce or when to introduce the Vampire Council. Diane was still struggling with the monitor. Scroll. Monique got 515 words total in notes. Nice. The monitor issue was something really stupid you think you need to break. That's what it always winds up being, is something so small, something very easily overlooked, and then we all feel like dumb that we didn't figure it out. Like when we were setting up the new monitor the new like TV/monitor and DVD player for myself, I could not for the life of me get the volume to adjust when we were playing a DVD. I was like, why? Because we have the DVD remote and then we have the TV Roku remote thing. And I could not, the volume on this DVD thing doesn't work at all whatsoever. And I was like, there is no volume on here. It was on the side. And I was so frustrated because I couldn't find the volume button. They were on the side of the remote. So yeah, that was my stupid thing for this week. Hubby and Monster are both home. Welcome home to Stacy's Hubby and Monster. Remotes are your hubby's nemesis. Yeah, well, and it's like the fact that I have to have 2 different remotes for this kind of thing. Like I should just have a universal remote. Like it ought to work. But whatever. And also, like, why put it on the side? Like every remote ever that I have ever had has always had the volume like on the face. Whatever. It's fine. I figured it out eventually. Sorry for banging near the microphone. But yeah, it's just like annoying. You had the connection daisy chained. Daisy chain? Yeah, and didn't even notice. Sent pic to hubby for fresh eyes, and thankfully he didn't laugh. Yeah, it's really nice because sometimes it is just asking somebody else for help, and then you figure it out. Or you see, having the fresh eyes helps, and taking a step back or whatever. You took one off, and poof, worked fine. Yeah. Exactly. It happens. It happens. Don't feel silly. Because you probably daisy chained them for ease of packing to make sure they didn't, like the prongs didn't get bent and everything, which is good. So you were doing a good thing. And then, yeah, it happens. It happens. Okay. You have 2, one for here, one for the camera in the art room. Yeah. All right. I forgot to address the poll at all today. So would your main character play tailgating games? This was sort of like as we were talking about the Super Bowl, 2 weeks ago when I made this. And if your main character played, which ones? So, and of course, like I I'm not a huge tailgater, which is why I didn't think of many different options for this. But so your options are yes, they'd be playing cornhole or horseshoe, something of like the tossing nature. Yes, beer pong because alcohol. Or no, they just watch, chat, and eat because part of tailgating is eating for sure. Or just no, your main character is avoiding all of the games and all of the drunks. So, which would it be? And also self promo because I forgot to say that. So, if you have something to promote, please do so during this run. I think Pearls also, Pearls and Plot Twists came in, and I forgot to say hello. So, hello, welcome. Yes. Okay. We should do another sprint, and I think I'm done with this like scene. So I think I can switch to the next scene, which would be good. Okay. Let's scrunch that. Let's do the wave. It's a little shorter. Why do we have an ad? Again, I still haven't figured out how to take the front roll ads off of my timers. Like I haven't figured out how to do that. I went into the settings and everything and I couldn't find that under the monetization. So they've changed something in the ad permissions monetization area. I don't know. But anyway, let's do the third sprint. I will eventually figure out how to do it. Okay. 1, save your document. 2, take a sip. Cheers. 3, straighten your spine, roll your posture back. Roll your shoulders back for a posture check. And if you need a longer stretch or you need to get up and move around a little bit during the sprint, that's perfectly fine. I will probably stand up and stretch a little bit myself. And then 4 is if you need a break, take a break. So here we go. 25 minutes. Welcome to Andy and Funky, who have made it here. Excellent. 25 minutes. Here we go in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, go. Okay, how'd we do? Okay. I finished that thought. We're now at 970 words for the session, which is I was hoping for 1,000. I'm nearly there. It's not too far off from, but considering how distracted I've been today, I'll take it. I will absolutely take it. But yeah, today was definitely distraction day, and that's okay. And maybe Friday will be better. Friday we'll do something fun. Like in terms of writing, maybe one of the fun side projects or a fun scene, just like something that maybe can feel cathartic in some way, and not crazy. Okay, so Coffee Crate Connect hired a beta reader named whose username was Mindy Nicole. She had fantastic ratings. She delivered earlier than her deadline, which you really appreciated considering the last 2 readers had pushed out the deadline further, which is great. So both timely and quality. Nice. We love that. And Devil Engine says hello. Hello. Welcome. I think she did. I think it because we mentioned hiring earlier. So Diana's working on the YouTube course worksheets. Nice. Excellent. Good. I did take a little mini stretch break. Stood up, walked around my room, then sat back down. So I got at least a little mini stretch break in there. But yeah, so I've made, and I've had side notes and written little notes for myself to bring with me tomorrow that has the address, and how long it takes to drive from the first appointment to the second appointment, because I need to know that. Which according to Google Maps takes 16 minutes. So as long as my first appointment is just under 2 hours, we should be good. Which I don't think it'll take the full 2 hours. Cross my fingers. So what I'm hoping is it only takes at most an hour. And then maybe I can stop by the Kroger and pick up some sushi and have that as a lunch in between the appointments. So that's what I'm hoping for. Funky got a bunch of work writing done. Good. Glad you got that done. Jen is like, fun, Funky. Funky says, of course, to Diane. Get it? Because she's working on the course? Yes. Funky says, 'tis never fun. Wait, Jen! Immediately perks up. Yes. Exactly. Okay, let's save our documents one more time. Sorry. And I'm going to end the poll. So 37% of our main characters are avoiding all of the games and all of the drunks. 27% are tied between playing cornhole or horseshoes. Horseshoes? Horseshoes, and just watching, chatting, and eating. And then 9% are playing beer pong and getting drunk. So the chicken. Stacey says, "Oh, I just realized I need to start dinner. Gotta run. I think we're gonna have spaghetti tonight. We mentioned that before. I think we mentioned that last night." And Funky says, "We need another chat so we can cut up, so y'all can act a fool and have fun." All right, y'all. I am going to see myself out. I'm going to save my document one more time, even though I just saved it. But I'm going to see myself out and go see what's happening over on the AuthorTube and BookTube under 1K subs marathon, and under For the Love of Words on Kat's channel, Kat's Chaos Cafe. So yeah, so I'll be in the chats, and hopefully I will see y'all on Friday, and I will have had 2 fantastic appointments where they find nothing at all that concerns them. Yay! So that's the hope, because one of the appointments is a dermatologist, and I'm hoping, because my doctor, the doctor didn't seem too worried about it. Called them like cherry angiomas. I looked them up, and sometimes if they change appearance, they can be concerning. But me, so I'm just, the doctor didn't seem worried about it. It was like, yeah, if you want, we can get those screened. Like, okay. So hopefully they turn out to be nothing, and hopefully the other appointment confirms what Busty has indicated, that like the levels are good, and I probably don't need the ultrasound, but just to confirm, that's what we're hoping for. Anyway, whatever. I'm telling you way too much about my business, but here we are. Okay, let's save again, just because. Don't forget to hydrate, don't forget to stretch, and I will see y'all soon. All right, bye.